I lost a $3,000 a month client because I made a simple mistake. This client was an app development company from India who had found me through Upwork. Now back then, my Upwork profile probably said something like SEO expert because I'd read 3 whole blog posts about SEO. What could go wrong, right? Well, 2 weeks after I made changes to their website, it completely disappeared from Google. Not just their rankings, their entire site was gone. The client fired me immediately. And honestly, they were right to. Making a website completely disappear from Google takes real talent, just maybe not the kind they were looking for. So here's exactly what I did wrong. I bought links from some random sellers. Those links came from spammy websites that Google already knew about it and made Google lose complete trust in my client's site. So of course, now I only focus on quality links. This happened to me almost 10 years ago. And I did manage to get their site re-indexed for them, but that failure taught me something valuable. You cannot learn SEO just by reading about it. After burning nearly $100,000 on courses that taught outdated techniques and spending years split testing SEO at my own agency, I discovered SEO really only comes down to 2 things. First, content that Google and its users like. And second, links from trusted websites. Now, everything else is just details. So here's exactly how I'd learn SEO if I had to start all over again and wanted to avoid wasting time and money. So let me tell you something that happened recently. I met with a private equity group that bought one of my clients. They wanted to see if they should keep working with my team and I. So I showed them before and after ranking reports. And when I did, they said they'd never actually seen an SEO company that delivered improved ranking before. So that's the problem with SEO today. There are too many people who just write blog posts and call it SEO. Writing blog posts is not SEO. Random, unfocused blog posts do not generate better rankings. You need content that Google understands, and you need to build out comprehensive authority that Google's math knows to trust. So, if I was starting over today, I'd skip WordPress completely and build my test site on something like Wix. Not because Wix is better, it's not, but because it handles all of the technical stuff while I focus on learning SEO basics. I don't want to waste time messing with developers, plugins, or security updates. I just want to learn real SEO. I also learned the hard way to build everything in mobile first. Over 2/3 of visitors are on their phones, and Google crawls the mobile version of the site. Now, a lot of people make sites that look amazing on laptops, but weird on phones. Guess which one Google and most of your users will see? The weird one. So the next thing I do is set up Google Search Console right away. It's free, and it tells me exactly how Google sees my site. No more guesswork. I learned that lesson years ago when I was refreshing Google searches, wondering why my client's site vanished instead of checking Search Console to see exactly what went wrong. And once I was ready to start creating content, I wouldn't write random blog posts. I would start with a topical map. This is a plan that covers all the subtopics Google expects me to cover. I'd ask AI to generate a list of semantically related subtopics for a given topic and tell it that the goal is to build comprehensive topical coverage with Google's algorithm. Semantically related is just a fancy way to say that Google's math will know these topics are relevant to one another. AI will generate many ideas, which means a lot of content to complete this topical map. Now, AI can speed up writing content, but I would need to remember, Google usually won't index AI content that looks like AI content. If I go into the Search Console and see crawled, not indexed, that's Google's polite way of saying, nope, not showing this to anyone ever. At the end of the day, Google is just math. It's natural language processing. So if I keep that in mind, I'm definitely going to write more simply. Big fancy words will hurt me with Google. So here's an example of a decent sentence that Google will not understand at all. Through proper implementation of website optimization techniques, your digital presence will experience increased visibility within Google's search engine results page. So here's the same thing rewritten so that Google understands it. When you optimize your website correctly, Google will show it more often in search results. Now, you see the difference? Simple, direct, and clear. Then, I'd run my content through an AI detector. Not because Google cares if AI wrote it, but because content that scores as too AI sounding is usually not great at creating user engagement. So I made a whole video breaking down exactly how to use AI to write content Google loves. You can check it out right here. But whether you're using AI or writing everything yourself, and you should be using AI, the really good news here is there's only 3 technical things that you actually need to focus on. First up is schema markup. Now, yes, this sounds scary, but really this is just a little snippet that tells Google what my site is about. It's like the labels on shipping boxes. I don't even have to write this code myself. AI can generate for me if I ask it to and explain what my business does. Okay, second, image optimization. Again, super simple. Make the images small, mobile friendly, and the latest generation file format before I upload them. I would not rely on Wix or WordPress to resize them. I'd make sure they're their final size when I uploaded them. And that's really it. And third, mobile first design. Exactly what it sounds like. If it works well on the mobile, it'll look fine on desktops too, but not always the other way around. So once I had these basics down, I'd focus on building out my content following the topical map AI helped me create. I'd find trusted websites to get links to my new content, and I'd watch the Search Console to see what was working. Now that's it. That's how I'd learn SEO if I was starting today. Of course, this is usually when people start to ask me, but how do I find clients willing to pay for this? When I first started, I wasted months cold calling and emailing businesses that never even opened my messages. But then I ran a simple Facebook ads method to land local clients. I made a YouTube video that breaks down this entire ad campaign, targeting, budget, and ad copy for SEO services. I'd watch that next, so I could start landing my first real clients sooner rather than later. Now look, time is the biggest asset. If I were balancing client work, learning new skills, and growing my business, I'd want to make everything as efficiently as possible. So that's why I rely on AI for content, and I use simple site builders, and I only focus on the technical stuff that truly matters. It's how I'd get real SEO results faster without repeating all the painful mistakes I made when I was starting out.